with Trey Smith's contract done, according to ESPN, and congratulations to Nate Taylor, who went from The Athletic to now he's at ESPN. He was on the TV, the big screen yesterday, so congratulations to Nate Taylor, the Athletics. Nate Taylor taking over the Adam Teicher role at ESPN. But he reported yesterday that the Chiefs are now going to shift their focus to signing Trent McDuffie to a long-term deal. And this comes as Sauce Gardner and the Jets agreed on a 4-year, $120.4 million deal, averaging about $30.1 million a year, making him the highest-paid quarterback in the NFL. So this deal kind of sets the market for McDuffie negotiations. JD, with Sauce setting that new bar, how do you think the Chiefs should approach McDuffie's deal? And does his skill set, versatility, and playoff resume justify a contract within that same ballpark as a Sauce Gardner?
Does he deserve it?
Is he in the same tier as Sauce Gardner? I guess is more the question there. Is he in the same tier as Sauce Gardner to demand that kind of money that Sauce Gardner got?
I mean, Trent McDuffie's a shutdown corner. He is. So he's one of the top corners in the league. I don't think anybody some people may argue the point. I think he is. The question is, do the Chiefs want to pay that? That's the question. You know, I mean, is somebody worth that type of money? Somebody's worth what they're willing to get paid, but teams are willing to pay them. That's how that works, Marcus. It works in every industry. It's all about what somebody pays you. You got to know where your worth is. You have to. And so Trey feels like he can go out with Sauce Gardner and what he's been doing. Yeah, go ahead and say it. I would say this. Trent McDuffie has been one of our guys that has been shut down, their best receiver year in, year out since he's been here. He has. Do the Chiefs have it in the kitty to give it to him? That's the question. That really is the question. So he's definitely one of the top corners in the league. No question about it. So you could sit there and say, hey, you know what, where Trey was rated and all of this and stuff like that. There's no doubt when you look at corners in the league, Trey McDuffie is right up there as one of the top ones. And they've known it. Do I think Sauce Gardner is worth $30 million? I don't think Sauce is worth $30 million. I don't. But guess what? Teams paid him that. So how can I get upset at what teams are paying him? I'm like, okay. Shoot, good for the other guys. For me, I'm always on the side of players getting paid. Okay, hey, get your money. Why? Because what we said in the in the program a couple of weeks ago, we was talking about there was collusion by NFL owners not to give guys guaranteed contracts, and that part of it was coming from our own NFLPA or somebody in the in the front office, and we still trying to get those things under wraps, man. I've been talking to a few guys about all this coming down. So owners, they don't want to pay guys. They don't. But if a guy's sitting over getting pay that type of money, and they can make it, go ahead, man, make it. By all means, get it. I don't think Joe Burrow is worth $50-something million. I don't think a whole lot of these guys are worth the type of money they making. I don't. But hey, guess what? They getting paid that. So they feel the worth. The money is going up in the league every single year. And so if a guy gets that type of money, give it to him. If he can make it, take it. Take it. So I just think, at a certain point, the markets are just going to balloon so much that they almost have to be a bust, right? That's what happens, right? You get the balloon and the bubbles and something happens. They had to do that with the rookie contracts when, who was it? The guy Bradford, right? Big Bradford was making $60 million a year and hadn't thrown a daggone out route, getting $60 million as a rookie. And so what had happened, that he was making more money than guys that have been in the league. What's the name of the safety up there for, with the Steelers, Pomalalu. Troy. And they were saying that like something's wrong with this picture. Something is absolutely wrong with it. But because the money is going up every single year, the owners are getting so much more money than everybody else. They're not opening up the books to know exactly how much money they're getting. They're charging a fan so much money to get into the stadium. Okay, they're shafting you guys. I just want to say it. Okay, how much it costs to get to the stadium, how much to park, how much to get your kid a hot dog or some nachos. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And see, what you do see is you see a lot of the discrepancy in guys getting paid. There's that, right? The same in this is microcosm of society in itself, and you start seeing this. balloon. Like, oh man, is this guy that much more worth than this other guy? They just taking advantage of the market. It's capitalism, brother. That's what this is.
It's the name of the game. But yeah, so I'm all for players getting as much money as possible. It's not my money. It's not the fans' money. Just let these guys get paid. The owners make a lot. But what I do love about this, right, is that Trey Smith gets his deal done right in the wee hours of right before the deadline. And then the report right after that is that they want to go and get Trent McDuffie done. And then a report came out today from this source called Pretty Ricky. He's a guy who no one knows where he's getting his information. He called Trey Smith getting that deal done back in February. He had the exact amount of years on that, money per year on that. And he's called some other stuff too. But he said that apparently the Chiefs are trying to get George Karlaftis done as well. What does this tell you?
He's been wrong on a couple things though too.
He's also been wrong on a couple of things. Yes, yeah. That's why I didn't post his thing as a story tonight. I wanted to make it more about Nate Taylor's report on McDuffie. But in general, the fact that we want to go and kind of get Trey Smith, and now it's all signs point to us trying to get it done with Trey McDuffie. What does that tell you about Brett Veach's commitment to trying to keep the talent in house?
I mean, if you want to win championships, that's what you do. You got to go with the core group of guys that got you there. Core group of guys that you know you can rely on. Trent McDuffie's a guy that you can rely on. You know you can take your money to the bank. You know you can, right? If you need somebody to shut this guy down, stop Jamar Chase. Guess what? Put deuce on him. That's what you do, okay? And let him go chest to chest with this guy, and he's going to step up. He's going to make that happen. We've seen it, all right? The proof is in the pudding. So when we sit there and we talk about guys and obviously their abilities, okay, the guys – is he capable of doing those things, right? That Trent McDuffie, absolutely. You give him the best receiver, he's gonna be able to play tough with him, toe to toe. We know this. So I just, for me, man, we sit there, we have these conversations about guys getting paid. I'm not mad guys getting paid, man. Hey, like I said, hey, you out there, teams want to pay you, absolutely. Sometimes I get upset when sometimes guys ask for money and they won't give them peanuts. They won't give them scrap. Somebody said over here, I think it was Justin Blackwell said the players are just catching up with the owners. That race is done. You'll never catch up with them jokers how much they making money. hey, that's a race we ain't not gonna win. Okay, so get it while you can. I just the disparity I think in some of the pay with some guys is what I'm looking at. Okay. And I'm going to say this too, Marcus, as a former player, when I see older guys, even guys my era, but so older guys that laid the groundwork for this thing in the road, those guys need to be taken care of. These guys are signing these big contracts and whatnot. I think, NFL, PA needs to do a much better job to make sure those guys are getting taken care of, man, for their benefits and whatnot. So I should never see a former player suffering for anything. Not at all. And so it's the job of those guys that are benefiting from the type of work and the effort and time they put in for these guys to make the money that they're making right now. And so sometimes it does take that respect. It takes that acknowledgement to say, hey, look, man, I'm benefiting off of this, making this big money. But when I'm sitting over and I'm looking at somebody coming into the locker room and he's on, using a walker or, he's some other things going on, those guys got to make the point to make sure those guys are getting paid or being taken care of, because those are, like I said, those guys are the one that put in the groundwork, man. They put in the hard work to get there. Not saying the guys that do it out on the field, but for sure, when I'm sitting over looking at who do you want to say? Joe Montana, whatever he made. He's not making anything where Joe Burrow and those guys are making. Nowhere near it. I'm sure at the time because that's what the market was, but absolutely, positively, Joe Montana would be making that type of money. Joe Burrow and those guys are making, and he jokers ain't even as talented as some of them guys. So,
yeah, forget about the wear and tear that some of those guys had to deal with. I mean, man,
yes, sir, man. So let me get off my soapbox for that, man. But that's true. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna tell the truth, man. I'm gonna tell the truth. And hopefully those guys hear that and understand it. And some guys do. Some guys do. Some guys might not know who some of the former players are. Like, I don't care. But that's a different conversation for a different time.
Yeah, that's just knowing the history of the game more so than anything else.
Yes, sir.
But I will say, for being, I'm not gonna have you say anything on this, JD. But as a fan, to see what we saw back in some of the old days, maybe during the Carl Pearson days, during the Scott Pioli days, where the GMs weren't paying, they were letting talent walk out the door and not paying the price tag for some of these guys. And to see that now the Chiefs are doing that year in and year out, paying up, amping up, and paying these guys the money instead of letting them walk out the door, instead of being, a cheap org. We are making sure and doing that. And I gotta say, I gotta love it, because in some of the years past, we've seen guys walk out the door like, man, why do we pay him? And now we're not letting that happen. We're pretty much keeping everybody in house, and you gotta love that.
Well, but also too, we're not. We let Snead walk. We let Tyreek Hill walk. We let guys walk too now, Marcus. Okay,
being very selective. Yeah.
Those guys already helped too, and they like, hey man, appreciate it. Shook their hand and slapped them on the back and pushed them out the door. Appreciate it. Gave him a boot. Thank you. Gave him a hand sandwich and told him, go ahead and kick rocks. So moving on.
Yeah,
and it can happen too. Because, and we'll take it a step further, right? Because people make this point as well when they talk about Brett Veach, talking about he's a cornerback savant, right? He knows how to draft guys at the position. And so we're always looking for him to always bring in talent at that position because he knows who the guys are. Well, do you constantly rely on the draft to bring the guy that you need to stop a Jamar Chase or, a CD Lamb or whoever it may be, one of your top receivers? Do you always bring that guy in? Are you hoping you're gonna hit the lottery? Oh man, please let that be somebody can stop this guy. If not, man, that sucker's gonna have 200. He's gonna hang up 200 on you. Okay, about 3 tubs. You can't do that. You can't win that way. So it's always a question: do you pay the money? Oh, you just got to find that out, man. So
yeah, I guess what more I'm saying, yeah, some guys he's not going to keep everybody, right? But I'll say like from Creed Humphrey, highest paid center, Mahomes, highest paid quarterback, Trey Smith, highest paid guard. Like, so he's paying a top money to keep these guys, and that's just something that you don't see all the time, where pretty much one team is the highest paying in almost every position. I think that's going a long way. I'll say, yeah, you didn't. I'm saying Frank Clark, Hutch, or Honey Badger. Yeah, we didn't keep those guys around, but nonetheless, we're resetting markets with a lot of these guys that we are keeping. And Bolton too is a top guy in the linebacker spot too. So they are amping up big time when it comes to it.
Yeah, they are. They are. And the thing is that it costs, it needs to pay off. And what we're doing is we're mortgaging that Patrick Mahomes, while he's here, is going to win more Super Bowls. And how do you do that? You protect 15. That's the priority. That is the priority. So you make sure that's taken care of first and foremost, right? So what happened to us in the Super Bowl? We didn't have no protection for PM15. Well, heck, we didn't run the football like we should have, and then, of course, Patrick back there, dancing around trying to throw the football, trying to do more than what he needed to do because he's getting pressure. So they felt like this is a necessary step, right? Yeah. So, Marcus, it's a give and take. We know this. It's a give and take, brother. That's what it is. But they feel like this money is money well spent. It's invested in the right way. And so we'll know because the proof is going to have to be in the pudding. But just time will tell. Time will tell. But I said that, man, hey, when that joker comes back in the locker room after the game, his jersey needs to be spotless.
Untouched.
Yes, sir.
Untouched. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's going to be one of the things. All these guys are getting paid a lot of money, but they're going to be, now with a lot of money comes more responsibility. So these guys are going to be heavily scrutinized. So Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, big time expectations for them this year. Getting paid the money they are getting paid.
But these are big boys. They wear the big boy pants. They ain't worried about that. They up for the task, man. Creed and Trey, they up for it. Okay, the two guys, have the fortitude, the mindset, the passion to get those things done. Creed and Trey are those two guys to do it, man. So, yeah.
Ray028, good comment here. Damn if you do pay them, damn if you don't. There's gonna be people on either side. Like, oh, you paid them too much money. Oh, you let them walk out the door. There's always gonna be too much. There's always gonna be somebody on either side of that whole thing. But yeah, it's good. It's a good point.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact, Jack.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.